Salutations, and welcome to you, you beautiful souls. Thank you for joining me here on Mr. Microcosm, Nosce to Ipsum. In the last episode, I talked about the microcosm in the Word, and I want to touch base on that a little bit further before moving on. Yes, in the beginning, God was the Word, and the Word was with man. But then after the coming of Jesus, et verbum caro factum est, the Word became flesh. I also want to circle back to the exoteric and the esoteric parts of the grand mystery. As I previously stated, all words are merely symbols, and a symbol is not a sign. The difference between a sign and a symbol is that a sign points directly to something, while a symbol must be interpreted. And depending on the level of education of the individual is how far into the depths of the symbol beyond the surface that this individual will get. So largely the difference between the esoteric and the exoteric parts of the teachings is basically the level of education of the individual. Now, those who have only taken the time to learn half of their lessons will only see the surface, and they will constantly be taking the messenger for the message. They will be prone to worship instead of live by the message. And this ultimately is the largest pitfall of the teachings. Now, the Apostle Paul said, milk for babies and meat for men. One of the interpretations of this is that the milk and the meat come from the same symbol. Paul knew that life was a spiritual practice and that the divine was something we had to personally experience. This is why Peter, the patron saint of the church and organized religion, the reason why people see the Bible as a history book and not a story to be learned from, would not see Paul in the end. This is why there is no book of Paul and that his teachings have been reduced to the talks that he gave, Romans, Corinthians. They sought to reduce his voice to minimize his impact, even though they couldn't strip him out completely like they did the other Gnostic Gospels. Now, Jesus said that he was the light and the way, but he never meant to be worshipped. He wanted us to follow in his personal footsteps. And when we do that, we bring forth our inner divine, our Christ, Krishna, Buddha consciousness, this innate state of enlightenment that we've had since we were born before the world got its hands on us and our culture and socialization started to shape who we are. You see, we have this belief that wisdom comes with age, but that isn't true. This is why in the story Jesus was giving sermons to the priests in the temple when he was but a child. And then you fast forward to his teen years, and he's absorbed enough of the world to where he gets angry and violent. He flips the money tables and says, my father's house is not a house of merchandise, because he is upset with the culture of his people and the spiritual materialism of the day. He has to leave to regain his peace. And then he comes back a bodhisattva, and he allows the toxic part of his ego to die so that he can be born again. And we all must do the same. We need to strip the world from our heads, get rid of the toxic portion of our ego, and be who we truly are, the enlightened self that we have from birth, because happiness and enlightenment are our birthright. If we circle back to the exoteric and the people that only see that worship the messenger, the ones that see the church as the way to God instead of a personal experience, this is why so many people have killed and died in the name of a messenger. This is why so many people don't live by the message, because they don't actually see it. They're so hell-bent on worship that they end up doing horrible things instead. And we've seen crusades and inquisitions and so many things done in the name of God that it's just appalling. This is why education is so important. This is why intellect is part of the triad of Orpheus. This is why wisdom is part of the Tripitaka. This is why thought is one of the three ruffians. Now, Alexander Pope said that a little learning is a dangerous thing, and this is very true. Oscar Wilde said that there's no such thing as being overeducated or overdressed, and I have taken that to heart. I hope that you do too. Please educate yourself the best you can. If you have any questions or you want references, please shout out in the comments. This is where I'm going to end it for this evening. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Semper Disco.